Wrong?" his wife asked. "Why the long face?" He told her his story. He'd had an opportunity to make money fast, but it required him to invest thousands of dollars. At first he was going to do it. It was the smart thing to do. He could double his money. But then he started to think about it. Maybe it was a dumb thing to do. Maybe he wouldn't double his money. Maybe he'd lose his money. At the last minute he backed out. He hung on to his money. But a friend of his did invest his money. His friend doubled his money within a few days. "I can't stop thinking about this. I can't stop being mad at myself," he said. His wife said not to cry over spilled milk. "You've still got your money, and more importantly, we have each other," she said. "You should be happy." It was springtime. Elaine's nose was running. Her eyes were itching. She asked Jerry to buy some allergy medication. He went to a drugstore. He looked at the allergy medications. He compared active ingredients. He compared prices. He compared expiration dates. He found a non-drowsy house brand. Each pill lasted 24 hours. 10 pills were in the box. He paid $9 for the box. He took the box home. Elaine took a pill. A while later she felt much better. 10 days later her allergy was still active. "I need some more pills," she said. Jerry went back to the drugstore. He took the empty box with him. He couldn't find the boxes with just 10 pills in them. Instead, he had to buy a box with 30 pills. It was the same house brand with the same active ingredient. But these pills were self-dissolving. The box cost only $18. Jerry took the box home. "They didn't have the box with 10 pills," he said, "so I got a box with 30. Elaine took a pill out of the box. "These are much bigger than the other pills," she said. "Are you sure they're the same?" He said, "Yes, it's the same active ingredient. The only difference is that you don't need to drink water with these." She said, "You know I always need water to swallow pills. You should have gone to another drugstore. These pills might not work." He said, "Of course they'll work. They're the same exact pills." She said, "How can they be the same? They're bigger." He brought her some water. She took the pill. She went to work. She came home that evening. Her nose was running. Her eyes were itching. "I told you they weren't the same," she said. Jerry shook his head. Sally's hair was too long in the back. She went to a hair salon. Its haircut price was $55. She went to a few more salons. She found one that was only $30. She heard some hairdressers speaking a foreign language. She told the hairdresser what she wanted. "Short in the back," she said. "Short," the hairdresser repeated, nodding and smiling. Sally was tired. She slept while the hairdresser cut her hair. A while later she heard, "Okay, finished. You like it?" Sally opened her eyes. She looked in the mirror. Her eyes got big. Her hair was short all right. It was short in the back. It was short in the front. It was short on top. It was short on the sides. She looked like a boy. She wanted to cry. She went home. Her husband loved it. "You look great," he said. "You'll love drying your hair now." Charlie went to Rockefeller Center at 8 a.m. Nobody was in line on the sidewalk. Nobody was in line inside. He was happy. He had beaten the crowds. He went to the ticket counter. He presented his City Pass booklet. It had cost him $79. It was good for the Statue of Liberty, 2 museums, the Empire State Building, and the Top of the Rock observation decks. He paid $2 for a view map. He took an empty elevator to the 67th floor. It was an open-air deck, but glass walls surrounded it. They also prevented unhappy people from jumping onto the streets below. He took the escalator to the 69th floor deck. It also had glass. He walked up to the 70th floor deck. It had no glass. A jumper would land on the 69th floor deck. He looked north at Central Park. It is so green, he thought. Charlie looked at the Empire State Building. It was only 16 blocks south. Then he looked at the East River. He saw 2 bridges in the distance. Which bridges are those, he wondered. He unfolded the view map. It was actually a panoramic photo taken from the 70th floor. Printed on it were the names of buildings and other places of interest. The names of the bridges were the Williamsburg Bridge and Brooklyn Bridge. He looked at the 2 bridges again. Where was the Manhattan Bridge? He knew it was just north of the Brooklyn Bridge. He had taken the N train over the Manhattan Bridge just last week. "Where is the Manhattan Bridge?" he asked a security guard. The guard looked at the view map. He saw just 2 bridges. The guard looked at the East River. He saw just 2 bridges. "There is no Manhattan Bridge," he said. They were in the produce section. The small cucumbers were in a styrofoam tray. The tray and the cucumbers were wrapped tightly in thin, clear plastic. She pushed on each cucumber through the plastic. She tested 5 different trays. "This one's the best," she said. She tested all the produce with her fingers. She tested the bananas. "You don't need your fingers for the bananas," he said. "All you need are your eyes." She asked, "Well, is this banana okay?" He looked at it. "Of course it is," he said. It was a yellow banana. Yellow meant it was okay. She pointed to a section of the banana. She said, "Feel here." He felt there. "It's soft. It's a little overripe," he said. "But even so, it won't kill you." She said, "Of course it won't. But do you want the freshest food, or just food that won't kill you?" It was a warm, sunny day in Manhattan. Many people were standing in a long line. They had bought tickets for the Statue of Liberty. They were waiting to board the boat. Neil could see the statue in the distance. It looked pretty small. He bought a ticket. Now all he needed was a cap. A sidewalk vendor nearby was selling baseball caps. Most of them had New York on them. The price was $5. Neil offered $4. The vendor gave him a cap. Neil gave the vendor $4 plus a 50-cent tip. The vendor smiled and thanked him. Neil felt a little guilty. He gave the vendor 50 cents more. He got in line. The boat arrived. Neil and the other passengers walked onto the boat. A sign on the boat said, "Capacity 500." But Neil didn't see anyone counting the passengers. He went upstairs to the top deck. Neil stood by the rail. He looked at the water 30 feet below. The boat left the dock. Everyone was enjoying the view. People were taking pictures of the Manhattan skyline. The wind suddenly gusted. The strong gust blew Neil's cap off. He saw it hit the water. The boat arrived at Liberty Island. Everyone got off. Neil walked toward the statue. The statue was much bigger up close. It was on top of a pedestal. The pedestal was almost 100 feet high. A security guard was sitting on a concrete wall. The wall was only a few feet high. It bordered the walkway around the statue. Neil asked, "Why is the statue green?" The guard said he didn't know. Neil continued walking. He saw a plaque fixed to the wall. The plaque said oxidation had turned the copper statue green. The plaque was about 100 feet from the guard. They took the escalator downstairs. They were at Home Depot. She wanted to buy some more plants. She also wanted to buy some plant food. Ryan went to the plant food section. He saw big containers and small packages. One small package was only $2. It contained 15 sticks of plant food. Each stick was smaller than a golf pencil. He told Paula it was a good deal. "Are you sure?" she asked. "It's $2, he said. She asked, "Did you read the directions?" He read them. He said, "This is ridiculous. I thought we only needed to put 1 stick in each pot. But we need to put 6 sticks in a big pot. We need to put 2 sticks in a little pot. We need to replace the sticks every 30 days. I thought this stuff was cheap, but it isn't." She said, "That's the problem with cheap." The N train stopped at the 23rd Street subway station. A young woman got on the train. She stood next to Doug. Doug didn't offer her his seat. The train pulled out at the station. The woman suddenly started talking loudly and slowly. "Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Brown. I'm a single mother. I have 2 children." Doug looked up at the woman. She looked clean. Her clothes looked clean. "I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't use drugs. I would appreciate your help," she continued. She held a clear plastic cup in her left hand. She is very brave, Doug thought. To beg on a train takes bravery. Doug put a $1 bill into her cup. She didn't say anything. She walked forward, holding out her cup for others. The very next day she got on his train again. She made her announcement again. Doug ignored her. 2 policemen were walking past a house. They smelled marijuana smoke. Bob said, "Someone's breaking the law. Maybe it's a drug dealer." They went to the front door. John rang the doorbell. Nobody answered. John rang it again. Nobody answered. Bob shouted, "Police! Open the door!" They pulled out their guns. Bob kicked the door in. They entered the house. Bob went straight to the bathroom. Nobody was there. John said, "In here." Bob walked into the bedroom. An old lady was smoking a joint. She was lying in bed. Her bedroom window was open. "You're under arrest," said Bob. She said she had cancer. Her voice was a whisper. Bob said, "Cancer is no excuse for breaking the law." She said they had broken into her house. They broke the law too. Bob said, "We're the police. It's okay for us to break into houses. Now get up, please." He was a new employee. He introduced himself to one of his new co-workers. She was looking at her computer screen. "Hello, my name is Don," he said. She looked at him. Her face was a blank. "I don't have time to say hello," she said. She went back to looking at her computer screen. Don stood still for a moment. Then he walked away. That was rude, he thought. No one has ever done that to me in my whole life. How long does it take to just say hello? He turned around to look at the woman again. "I'll remember you," he thought. "Did I say hello wrong?" he asked the supervisor later. He was half joking. "No," Bill said. "Sandra's a little paranoid. She thinks every new employee might be after her job. She treats them like the enemy." Well, that's certainly how I'll treat her, Don thought. "New York City is the greatest city in the world," said Herman. "I've been here my whole life. We have the best of everything. We have 8 million friendly people. We have 10,000 friendly taxicab drivers. We have the world's greatest subway system, even on weekends when half the trains aren't running. We have the Brooklyn Bridge, the world's greatest bridge for walking and taking pictures. We have Grant's Tomb and the Staten Island Ferry. They're both free. We have the world's best pizza because it's made right here in New York City. We have I Love New York t-shirts. We have everything. Who would ever want to go anywhere else?" Maria said, "But there's a lot of other nice cities in the world. Maybe you should visit them to compare." Herman said, "Why should I visit other cities? People from those cities are visiting us. That just proves how great New York City is." Lou had a bad memory of a bad event. He couldn't put it out of his mind. It was with him when he went to sleep. It was with him when he woke up. It was with him all day long. He went to a memory doctor. He told the doctor his problem. The doctor said he could remove the bad memory, but there was a problem. He might accidentally remove some other memories too. "That's okay," said Lou. "As long as this bad memory goes, it's okay if a few other memories go with it." The doctor gave Lou a bad memory pill. Lou swallowed it. A minute later he said, "I'm cured. I don't remember the bad memory, whatever it was." The doctor asked, "Do you remember how much I was going to bill you?" Lou said, "No. Tell me again." The doctor smiled. He doubled Lou's bill. He wanted to explore New York City. He decided to buy a bike. "Make sure you buy a helmet," his wife said, "and make sure you clean the tires. Don't bring dirty tires into our apartment." Clean the tires? How in the world was he going to clean the tires? There was no hose outside their apartment building. He hoped she was kidding. He went to Kmart. He bought a helmet and a 21-speed Schwinn. He walked the bike out of Kmart. He put on the helmet. He got on the bike. He rode it east on 34th Street to the river. He rode it north a few blocks and then south. This was fun. He rode it west to Madison Square Park. A huge white statue of a woman's head was in the park. People were taking photos of it. He rode home. He felt like a kid again. He bought a blue bike at Kmart. He rode it home. He read the owner's manual. He returned to Kmart the next day. He needed to buy a bell for his new bike. New York City requires all bikes to have a bell or horn. He hadn't known that. He had seen many bikes on the street without a bell or horn. But he didn't want to get a citation. He went to the bike section. "What's this?" he asked himself. A red bike was on display. It wasn't there yesterday. He looked at it. It was half as expensive as his new bike. He examined the red bike. He lifted it. It was heavy. The seat was as hard as a rock. He did not like the knobby tires. The gears were not Shimano. The bike was not a Schwinn. This bike should be half as expensive, he thought. "I love New York City," said Eddie. "I wake up happy because I'm waking up in New York City. I sleep like a baby because I'm sleeping in New York City. It's a big city chock full of small, friendly communities. It isn't the mean city that people see in the movies. It's a city made for enjoying. It's a city made for exploring. What's not to love?" Barry said, "Ha! What's not to love? Bags of smelly garbage are on the streets every day. Some sidewalks and subway stations reek of urine. Streets and subways, even the sidewalks, are jam-packed. And the bikers. Just yesterday a biker almost ran me over. They come at you from everywhere, from the front, from the back, and from the sides. When I step into the street, I look out for bikers first, cars second." Eddie said, "Those things aren't bad. They just add character to our city." The waitress showed them to their table. It wasn't where they had sat the previous month. That table was quiet and almost private. This table, at the south end of the restaurant, was only 5 feet away from a busy cash register. Also, the table was at the intersection of 2 aisles. One aisle led to another dining room. One aisle led straight to the buffet line. The foot traffic was constant throughout their meal. Waiters, waitresses, busboys, adults, and kids walked by within inches of their table. "If I put my foot out just a little bit," Woody told Ellen, 10 people will step on it or trip on it every minute." They went home a little frazzled. "Well," Ellen said, "we had the best table last time and the worst table this time." Woody said, "Yes, we did. The food wasn't as delicious this time, that's for sure." "I wish I was dead," he said to himself over and over. "I wish I was dead." He couldn't remember the last time he had smiled, let alone laughed. He was miserable. He had done something really stupid recently. It had cost him a lot of money. It was driving him crazy. Why had he done it? How could he have been so stupid? He couldn't get it out of his mind. He thought about it every day, all day long. All that money gone. He couldn't have made a worse financial decision. It was ruining his life. He ate little, he slept little, he talked little. He was a somber man. He kept telling himself, "It's only money, it's only money." But that didn't help. Nothing helped. Every day was worse than the previous day. His life had become a nightmare that he desperately wanted to end. Joe first walked by the man at 2 p.m. The man was standing in the middle of a busy sidewalk in Koreatown. He was bent over, face down. Joe could see only the top and back of the man's head. His hands were moving slowly near his knees. At about 3 p.m., Joe returned from his errands. The man was still on the sidewalk. He was in the same spot. Joe decided to stop. He stood nearby and watched the man. The man wasn't making a sound. He just stood there, bent over, face down. He seemed to be looking at his hands. His hands continued to move slowly in front of his knees. This man needs help, Joe thought. He felt sorry for the man. People continued to walk around the man. Joe went home. He told his wife about the man. "How did he get there?" she asked. Ricky opened the window. He climbed out onto the windowsill. He looked down at the street below. A bus was approaching. When it was almost under the window, he jumped. He landed on the bus. He groaned. The bus driver heard the impact. He pulled over. He got out of the bus. He shouted, "Is someone up there? Are you okay?" Ricky said, "My back hurts." The bus driver told him not to move. He said he would call 911. Ricky lay still. The paramedics came. They lowered him to the ground. They put him in an ambulance. The ambulance took him to the hospital. A doctor examined him. He said Ricky would be okay. "You're very lucky," the doctor said. "You didn't break any bones. What happened? Did you fall?" Ricky said, "I jumped. I was practicing. I'm going to be a stuntman after I finish high school." She loved her fiancé. Her fiancé loved her. They both loved each other. About a month before Christmas Day, he asked, "What do you want for Christmas?" She said, "All I want is you." She asked, "What do you want for Christmas?" He said, "All I want is you." He decided to get her something anyway. She decided to get him something anyway. He went to Macy's. He saw a beautiful gold necklace. "She'll like this," he thought. He bought it. He had it gift-wrapped. She went to Macy's. She saw a beautiful tie. "He'll like this," she thought. She bought it. She had it gift-wrapped. They put their gifts under the Christmas tree. On Christmas morning they unwrapped their gifts. She was thrilled. He had a long face. "What's the matter?" she asked. He said, "I bought you a beautiful, expensive necklace. All you bought me was a tie." She felt bad. She had yelled at her mom. She had made her mom cry. Even though she had apologized, she still felt bad. "I can't believe I hurt my own mom," she said. "My life seems to be just one bad thing after another. Either I do bad things or bad things happen to me. And I remember them all. I hate living with all these bad memories." He said he was lucky. "I don't have any bad memories," he said. She didn't believe him. She said everyone has bad memories. He said, "Not me. All I have are nice memories. I have memories of birthdays and holidays. I have memories of good times and fun times. I don't have a single bad memory." She said, "Your grandma died last week. Isn't that a bad memory?" He said, "She left me $10,000 in her will. What's bad about that?" Lily walked into Macy's on 34th Street. She needed some Dior skin cream. She went over to the cosmetics section. All the employees were busy with customers. Lily stood there. After a few minutes, one employee came over to Lily. "Hi, I'm Bev. I'll be with you in about 5 minutes," she said. "Is that okay?" Lily smiled and nodded. Bev went back to her customer. Lily took a chair. About 5 minutes later, Bev returned. She helped Lily find the items she needed. Lily paid for the items, thanked Bev, and left Macy's. "I will do business only with Bev from now on," Lily told her husband. "I was dressed in shorts and a t-shirt. Maybe the other workers thought that I didn't have much money. They didn't offer to help me, but Bev did. She will always have my loyalty. She treated me right, I'll treat her right." Tony was in line for the elevator at Macy's. 2 men walked up. They went to the front of the line. They were very tall and very big. They looked like father and son. A Macy's employee spoke up. "Sir," he said, "you have to go to the back of the line. You can't cut in line." The big man ignored him. "Sir," the employee repeated, "please go to the back of the line. It isn't right to cut in line." The man said, "I'm not moving." The elevator doors opened. People got out of the elevator. The man and his son walked into the elevator first. Tony and the others in line got into the elevator. The elevator rose. Tony said, "You're setting a bad example for your son. Just because you're big doesn't mean you can break the rules." The big man said, "Who's gonna stop me?" What would Mark say at his dad's funeral? His dad was very old. He might die any day. Mark wanted to say something nice about his dad. He wanted to say something memorable. He wanted to say something that showed his love for his dad. But what could he say? His dad was a nice guy. He was a hard worker. He was a good husband. He was a good father. That wasn't much to say. That wouldn't even fill up 1 minute. Maybe he could tell an anecdote. That would work. But he couldn't think of an anecdote. He couldn't think of even one little story to tell. He hardly knew his own dad. He called up his dad. "What do you want me to say about you at your funeral?" he asked. His dad said, "Don't worry about it. I already wrote something. Just read what I wrote." Leo decided to skip school Friday morning. He decided to go fishing. He put his fishing gear into his car. He drove to the lake. He parked his car. He grabbed his gear. He went to the fishing shack on the pier. They were having a fishing tournament. Whoever caught the biggest trout would win $100. Leo paid the $5 entry fee. He sat down on the pier. He put some bait on his hook. He cast the hook far into the water. He put the rod into a rod holder. The lake was quiet and beautiful. A sailboat sailed by in the distance. A hawk slowly circled high above. "Caught anything yet?" a man asked. His voice sounded very familiar. Leo looked at him. "Mr. Wilson, what are you doing here?" he asked. Mr. Wilson was the school principal. "I might ask you the same thing," said Mr. Wilson. Victor always sat right behind Billy on the school bus. Victor kicked the back of Billy's seat all the way to school and from school. Billy hated Victor. Billy hated school. Every night Billy prayed that Victor would vanish. One morning Billy awoke and saw a yellow plastic gun near his pillow. He put the little gun in his jacket pocket. Maybe he could scare Victor with it. Billy went outside. The bus arrived. He got on and sat down. Victor sat down behind him. Victor started kicking his seat. Billy turned around. He pointed the gun at Victor. He told Victor to stop kicking his seat. Laughing, Victor kicked the seat harder. Billy closed his eyes. He pulled the trigger. Victor stopped laughing. Billy opened his eyes. The seat was empty. Victor was gone. Billy dropped the gun. He sat down again. School will be okay now, he thought. She sat down on the beach. She took a book out of her bag. She opened the book. She started reading. A young man came by. He said, "Hello, that's a great mystery you're reading." She said, "Yes, I'm enjoying it so far. I think I know who did it, but please don't tell me how it ends." He said, "I won't say a word, but if you think the butler did it, you're gonna be very surprised." She screamed. "What did I just say?" she said. "I said, don't tell me how it ends. Now you've ruined it for me." He said, "I'm sorry. Can I make it up to you? I'll take you out to dinner." She looked at him. He was a good-looking guy. "Okay," she said, "but I picked the restaurant." He said, "No problem. Which restaurant?" She said, "You're going to be very surprised." LinkedIn was in the news. The company's initial public offering was scheduled for 9:30 a.m. Lonnie called his broker at 8. "I want to buy LinkedIn," he said. "The pre-IPO price is $45, but the opening price might be up to 30% higher, right?" His broker said, "Yes, 30% higher or lower is the rule of thumb." Lonnie said, "I want to buy 3,000 shares with a limit price of $60. I'm hoping it opens at $45. But if it opens at $60, I've got it covered." His broker said, "You realize that if it opens higher than $60, you won't be buying a single share?" Lonnie said, "Yes, but I'm sure it won't." The broker placed Lonnie's order. He gave Lonnie a confirmation number. Lonnie told his wife, "We might double our money today. Let's pray that LinkedIn closes at $90. He explained what he had done. At 4:05 p.m., Lonnie checked the news. LinkedIn had closed at $94. "I can't believe it. We doubled our money. We bought the right stock at the right time," he exclaimed to his wife. They hugged and kissed. They went to a fancy steakhouse and celebrated. When they got home after dinner, Lonnie said, "Let me check to see exactly how rich we are." He looked at his account online. It hadn't changed. There was still $180,000 in it. He called his broker. "What's going on?" he asked. "I should have over $300,000 in my account now." The broker put him on hold briefly. "Here's the problem," he said. "The opening price for LinkedIn was $83. That was way above the pre-IPO price. Your limit was $60. You never even got into the game. You didn't make 1 cent. But, looking on the bright side, you didn't lose anything." 4 people lost their lives last Sunday morning. A man walked into a Long Island drugstore. He and his wife needed painkillers. He shot and killed everyone in the drugstore. Then he stole about 5,000 painkillers. Police arrested him several days later. He was mowing the lawn at his mother's house. "Why did he have to kill 4 people?" asked Mrs. Smith, the wife of the pharmacist. Mr. Smith was filling in on Sunday for the regular pharmacist. The regular pharmacist had stayed home for Father's Day. A young woman, Miss Garcia, was assisting Mr. Smith on Sunday. She would have graduated from high school yesterday. An elderly grandfather, Mr. Jones, was picking up a prescription for his ailing wife. A single mother, Miss Evans, was picking up a prescription for her son. She was to get married next month. "Why did he have to kill anybody?" wailed Mrs. Smith. The approaching car was speeding. It was heading east on 32nd Street. Brian was standing on the corner. He couldn't believe how fast the driver was going. "He's going to kill someone," Brian thought. Somehow the driver missed everybody standing in the street at 6th Avenue. The car continued speeding until it was out of sight. Brian couldn't believe it. How had that driver not killed or even hit anyone? Brian was angry. He was angry at the driver. He was angry at himself. He hadn't yelled at the driver. He hadn't called the police. He hadn't done anything. Later he saw a policeman. He told him about the speeding car. "What should I do next time?" Brian asked. The policeman said, "Just call 911. Tell them you saw a reckless driver. Describe the car. Tell them what direction it was heading. They'll find the car. They'll get the driver." Adam bought his son Dylan a $200 bottle of cologne. It was Dylan's high school graduation gift. Adam hid the cologne under the passenger seat of his car. He drove to a parking lot near the high school. He left his car with the attendant. Adam attended Dylan's graduation ceremony. Dylan walked with Adam back to his car. They got into the car. Adam drove off. He told Dylan there was a graduation gift under the seat. Dylan couldn't find anything under the seat. Adam asked, "Are you sure?" Dylan was sure. Adam drove back to the parking lot. "Where's my bottle of cologne?" he yelled at the parking lot attendant. The attendant asked, "What are you talking about?" Adam called him a liar and a thief. He swung at the attendant. The attendant pulled out a knife. Dylan rushed over to protect his dad. The attendant stabbed them both. Bill had a dream one night. In the dream, he died on the day after his 61st birthday. Bill told his brother about his dream. His brother said it was only a dream. Bill said it wasn't just a dream, it was the truth. If you ever have such a dream, you will know that it's the truth. Bill felt free and happy. This dream was the best news of his life. He wouldn't die for almost 21 more years. Before then, no disease or injury would take his life. He decided to travel all over the world the last 3 years of his life. He decided to stay divorced. No woman would want to marry a man who was going to die at 61. He decided to do more exciting things. No more golf for me, he thought. It was time to learn how to skydive and ride motorcycles. He hated doing the laundry. It was such a hassle. Someday, he thought, clothes will be 100% paper. Then we can just throw out our dirty clothes. No more washers, no more dryers, no more laundry baskets, no more laundry soap. He went to the laundry room. He washed and dried a week's worth of laundry. Back in his apartment, he sorted and folded the clean laundry. What's this, he wondered. One of his wife's socks was missing. He looked in the laundry basket. He unfolded the towels and sheets. He examined the apartment floor. He went back to the laundry room. He searched the washer and the dryer. He examined the floor and the trash can. He went back to his apartment. When his wife came home, he told her about the missing sock. "It's not missing," she said. "I threw it out. It had a hole in it." Sam took a bus to the cemetery. He went there every month to visit his mom's grave. This time something was different. Her headstone was missing. He looked around. Where is Mom's headstone, he wondered. He started to walk around the cemetery. He saw many other visitors, but he didn't see even one worker. He kept walking around. He reached a rock pile near a dumpster. At least it looked like a rock pile. He looked more closely. It wasn't a pile of rocks. It was a pile of headstones. He found his mother's headstone. It was broken in two. He looked at the two pieces. How dare they break her headstone, he thought. How dare they throw away Mom's headstone? He carried the two pieces back to her grave. He placed them on top of her grave. He apologized to his mom. "I'll fix this for you," he promised. His wife asked him to buy her some new socks. "Make sure they're 100% cotton," she said. "I don't want any polyester blends. I don't like the feel of polyester." He went to a couple of stores. They sold only cotton polyester blends. This errand was going to take longer than he had thought. He finally found a store that sold premium soft cotton socks. He bought 5 packages. He took them home. His wife looked at the big print on the front of one package, premium soft cotton. She opened the package. She took out a pair of socks. She felt them. "These aren't 100% cotton," she said. He said, "Of course they are. Look at the big print." She asked, "Did you look at the small print?" He looked at the back of the package. At the very bottom, in very small print, it said, 60% cotton, 40% polyester. "What do you want to do on the 4th?" he asked his wife. She said she was up for almost anything. He looked online. A tour company offered boat tours along with double-decker bus tours. It had downtown, uptown, and night bus tours. It had a Hudson River tour. "We'll start with a nice boat ride on the Hudson. Then we'll sightsee Manhattan from the top of a bus," he said. She asked him about the weather. "It's gonna be hot," he said. "July 4th is always hot." She said, "I mean, what if it rains?" He said not to worry. "The buses and boats run in the rain," he said. "Well, I don't run in the rain," she said. "If it's raining, you can go by yourself." He told her not to worry. "It never rains on July 4th, he said. "It would ruin too many church barbecues." "Did you hear the news?" his wife asked. "They're doubling the price of a Powerball ticket next year. It's gonna be $2. He said, $2 for one ticket? That's ridiculous. $1 is too much already. We never win anything." Correcting him, she said, "We won $2 last week." They had bought 10 tickets last week because first prize was $130 million. "Are they going to double our chances of winning?" he asked. "No," she replied. "They're going to make second prize worth $1 million. Right now it's worth $200,000. He said, "Big deal. Our chance of winning second prize is as low as winning first prize. Next year we're not going to waste our money on $2 Powerball tickets. Instead, we'll buy scratchers. They're only $1. In fact, every time we spend $1 on a scratcher, we'll save $1. Scratchers will be free." Ian turned on the TV. A man was talking. Ian clicked on the mute button. A caption appeared at the bottom of the screen. But the words in the caption didn't change as the man talked. They stayed the same. Another man started talking. The caption still didn't change. Then the whole caption disappeared. The first man started talking again. A new caption appeared, but it disappeared instantly. Ian didn't have time to read even one word before the caption disappeared. Ian got angry. They can put a man on the moon, he thought, but they can't do captions right. He sent an email to the TV station. He wrote, "Your captions haven't worked properly for more than a year now. Are you ever going to fix them? When?" The TV station manager replied, "Please be patient. We are trying to fix the problem. Meanwhile, isn't something better than nothing?" "What are you doing?" his wife asked. He was standing at the bathroom sink. He was filling up a glass with water. "I'm getting a glass of water," he said. "Oh, no, you're not," she said. "That's bathroom water. You can't drink that. Pour it out. Go to the kitchen and get some clean water." He laughed. "Honey, all the water's the same," he said. "You can drink bathroom water, kitchen water, or even shower water if you want. It's all safe to drink. Remember, you brush your teeth every day with bathroom water." She said, "I just brush with it. I don't drink it. I spit it out." He sighed. He turned the glass upside down. The water went down the drain. He went into the kitchen. She followed him. He filled up the glass and drank the water. "That's better," she said. "You'll start feeling healthier now." He was tired of mowing his green lawn. He was tired of looking at his green lawn. He was tired of green, period. He looked across the street. He saw a green lawn. All his neighbors had green lawns. Why, he wondered, is there a law? Must all homes have green lawns? He decided it was time for a change. He dug up his green lawn. He planted vegetables. He planted carrots. He planted tomatoes. He planted squash. He planted cabbage. A month later he looked at his new lawn. The vegetables were beautiful. They were colorful. He saw orange, red, yellow, and purple. "Our new lawn not only looks good, but it will taste good," he told his wife. Then he got a letter from the city council. It said, "Your neighbors have complained. Your lawn doesn't meet city standards. You have 30 days to make it green again." Mona saw the boy working at the restaurant. He was so cute. She was in love. But how was she going to meet him? And if she met him, what if he wasn't interested in her? "Of course he'd be interested in you," said her girlfriend Lisa. "You're so cute. Any guy would be interested in you." Lisa suggested that Mona use a go ring. "What's a go ring?" Mona asked. Lisa said, "Here, I have one. It's just a green ring. Put it on your finger. Wave it at him when he looks in your direction. Everyone knows that green means go. He'll know that you're interested in him." Mona liked the idea. She went to the restaurant. She flashed the ring over and over to the boy. She wiggled her ring finger over and over. Finally he came over to her. "Hi," he said. "Is something wrong with your finger?" "We don't have anything in common," she yelled at her husband. He said, "Of course we do. You like to yell at me, and I like it when you stop yelling at me. We were made for each other." She said, "No, we weren't. We don't like the same food. I like my Chinese food. You like your American food. I like to dig into crab and lobster with my hands. You don't like to get your hands dirty. We don't like the same movies. We don't like the same music. You're a night person. You like to sleep till noon. I'm a day person. You're tall and skinny and really bony. I'm short and fat. We are so different. How is it that we're still together after all these years?" He said, "That's easy. We do have another thing in common. We're both too old to find someone new." "The refrigerator temperature is too cold," she said. "The vegetables are freezing. Can you turn the temperature up?" He said, "Sure, it's simple. Let me show you how. Then you can do it yourself." She said, "Don't show me how. Just do it. You're so lazy. You figure the more you show me, the less you'll have to do yourself." He said, "Well, yes, but then I'll have more time to do other things for you." He opened the refrigerator. The temperature dial was on 5. He turned it up to 6. "There, it's fixed," he said. She said, "Thanks." The next day she said the vegetables were still freezing. He said, "That's odd." He opened the refrigerator and looked at the dial. Next to the dial, in big letters, was 9 is coldest. "Oops," he thought. He turned the dial down to 4. "There, now it's fixed," he said. He was at Macy's. He needed a short-sleeve silk shirt. He couldn't find any silk shirts. He did find a linen cotton blend. This will have to do, he thought. He took the shirt, still on its hanger, to the fitting rooms. A woman directed him into an empty fitting room. He closed the door. He took off his shirt. He wasn't wearing an undershirt. He had ridden his bike that day, but he hadn't showered when he got home. His underarms smelled. He took the shirt off the hanger. He unbuttoned it. He tried it on. It was too big. He took it off. He put it back on the hanger. He took it outside. He gave it to the woman. She started buttoning it up. That shirt was gonna hang on the racks again. He decided the next shirt he bought would be in a sealed plastic package. It was 10:55 a.m. Nick was standing on Fifth Avenue. He was outside the library with about 50 others. At 11 a.m. the library doors opened. Once past the first door, people formed into a loose double line. A woman was to Nick's right. All of a sudden, a man silently cut in front of Nick. Where did he come from, Nick wondered. Why would he cut in line, Nick asked himself. What's the rush? The library had plenty of books. It had plenty of seats. Nick looked at the man. He was young. Young and rude, Nick thought. He asked the man, "Why did you cut in line?" The man ignored him. Nick repeated, "Excuse me, why did you cut in line?" The man turned around. He looked at Nick. "I didn't cut in line. There was an empty space in front of you. I took the empty space." Paige was bicycling by the United Nations building. About 100 people were standing outside in the hot sun. They were holding signs that said, "Free the people of Wadiya," and "Down with Aladdin." Paige did not recognize the names. She had never heard of Wadiya or Aladdin. She parked her bike. She walked over to a young protester. The protester said the names weren't real. He said he wasn't a real protester. It wasn't a real protest. The protest was part of a new movie. He was an extra. He said extras were paid $100 per gig. A gig could last as little as an hour or as long as a day. "I've been here since 3 a.m. They said we might be here until 10 p.m. I'll get $85. My agent will get $15, he said. "But I don't mind. I heard that Tom Hanks started out this way." "Did you hear? Tiger had a bad knee. He had a bad Achilles tendon. He stopped playing golf for 3 months. Now he is completely healthy again. Tiger is back. He played in a tournament. He finished in 37th place. He finished behind 36 other golfers. This is not the Tiger we know. Tiger doesn't finish behind anyone. Tiger finishes ahead of everyone. People say, 'But wait, he didn't play for 3 months. Give him time. He's rusty.' Yes, Tiger is rusty, and once rust has set in, the damage is done. The steel will buckle. The Tiger that we know and love is not back. A shadow of that Tiger is back. The shadow is not the real thing. The shadow has no wife. The shadow has no wins. The shadow has no game. It is what it is. Tiger has left the house. Farewell, Tiger. We loved you." Connie always kept an umbrella in her desk drawer. A sunny morning could always turn into a rainy afternoon. Her emergency umbrella always kept her dry. One day it started raining at noon. She had to meet a client on the Upper East Side. She opened her desk drawer. She looked for her umbrella. It wasn't there. Did I leave it somewhere? She wondered. Then she remembered. She had lent it to Anne. She had lent it to Anne a week ago. Anne had borrowed it 7 days ago. She was going to get her hair done. She said she would return it after she got her hair done. But she didn't. She went home after she got her hair done. The next day, Connie had asked Anne about the umbrella. Anne said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. It's at home. I'll bring it tomorrow." That was almost a week ago. "I am so tall," he bragged to his classmates. "I'm so tall," he bragged to his grandparents. "I'm so tall," he bragged to his little sister. He was only 12, but he was a head taller than most of his classmates. "You're going to be so tall when you grow up," his dad said proudly. "I'm going to be taller than a door," he bragged to his dad. "Maybe you will be a professional basketball player," his dad said proudly. "I'm going to be taller than the basketball net," he bragged to his dad. Everyone was sure he was going to be very tall, but then something happened. He didn't grow taller in the 7th grade. He didn't grow taller in the 8th grade. He didn't grow taller in any grade. But his classmates grew taller and taller. When he graduated from high school, his sister was taller than he was. Bob sat down on the bus next to an old man. The old man said, "Hi, I can talk without moving my lips or opening my mouth. Would you like to see me do that?" Bob said sure. The man started talking. He talked very clearly. He talked about the weather. He talked about the Yankees. He talked about Central Park. Bob watched him carefully. Bob watched him closely. The man's lips did not move. His mouth never opened even a little bit. Yet he said every word clearly. Bob couldn't believe it. "How do you do that?" Bob asked. "Practice," the old man said. "Years of practice." Bob asked, "But why?" The old man said, "Just to see if I could do it." "Now I'm working on something else." Bob asked, "What?" The old man said, "I'm going to learn how to eat and drink without opening my mouth." He came home. "Wipe your feet," his wife yelled from the living room. He wiped his feet. "Take off your shoes. Put on your slippers," she said. He took off his shoes and put on his slippers. "Wash your hands," she said. He went into the bathroom and washed his hands. "Rinse all the soap off your hands," she said. He rinsed his hands. He dried his hands on his pants. "Don't dry your hands on your pants," she said. "Use the towel." He walked out of the bathroom. "Shut the bathroom door," she said. He shut the bathroom door. He went to the kitchen to get a glass of water. "Make sure you run the water before you drink it," she said. He ran the water for about 10 seconds. He filled the glass. He drank the water. It was cool and refreshing. "Wash the glass," his wife yelled. She came home. She was holding 3 plastic bags. They were full. He said, "Honey, don't carry heavy bags. It's bad for your back." She said, "The supermarket's only a block from my office. It's only a block from the subway station, so I don't carry these bags very far." He opened the bags. Inside were apples, peaches, and bananas. "Holy cow," he said. "There's enough fruit in here for a dozen monkeys." She said, "It's not for monkeys, it's for us. It's for our health." He said, "But this is too much. Half of it's going to spoil." She said, "It won't spoil if you eat your share every day." He asked, "My share? What's my share?" She said he must eat 3 times what she ate. 3 times? Why not split it 50-50? He asked. She said, "I can't eat all that sugar. It's bad for my health." John walked outside. He wanted to buy new shoes. He crossed 6th Avenue. Police were setting up metal barricades along the street. He asked a policewoman what the barricades were for. She said they were for a parade. "What kind of parade?" he asked. She said it was the annual Korean parade. He said, "That's nice. Parades are nice. That's what I love about New York City. Lots of parades." He went to 3 shoe stores but had no luck. Tired, he walked back to 6th Avenue. But he couldn't cross 6th Avenue. The parade was in progress. All the barricades were up. Police were everywhere. He asked a policeman, "How can I get across 6th Avenue?" The policeman said, you'll have to go up to 34th Street. You can cross there when the officer gives you the okay. What a drag, John thought. This city has too many parades. He had enjoyed his long bike ride through Central Park. He rode his bike back to his apartment building. He went to his mailbox in the lobby. He pulled out his keys. He unlocked the mailbox. An envelope was inside. It was the gas bill. More money, he thought. He took his bike into the elevator. He got out of the elevator on the 10th floor. He went to his apartment. He dug in his pocket for his keys. Where were they? Did he leave them hanging in the mailbox? Were they still there? He parked his bike next to the door. He rushed back to the elevator. He went downstairs to the lobby. He rushed to his mailbox. Please be there, he prayed. All his keys were hanging in the mailbox. What a relief! He rushed back to the elevator. I hope my bike is still there, he thought. He was bicycling west on Delancey Street. Traffic was moving fast. It was bumper to bumper. He turned south off Delancey Street. A couple of blocks later, he turned onto Grand Street. Traffic was also bumper to bumper, but it was barely moving. He came to a Chinese market. Fresh vegetables and fruits were on display outside. He parked his bicycle. He looked at all the different greens. He pointed to 3 different greens. He told the Chinese woman, 2 pounds of each, please. She put the greens into 3 red plastic bags. She said, $9.50. He said, $9.50? No, $8.50. The woman frowned. Her voice rose. $9.50. $3, $3, $3.50, $9.50. He realized that she was right. He shook his head. I can't add 3 little numbers, he thought. He gave her $10. She offered him his change. He said, keep it. She smiled. She sweetly said, thank you. The postcard was a reminder to visit their granddaughter's online wedding site. It wasn't addressed to Mr. and Mrs. Gunnarsson, nor to the Gunnarsons, simply to Gunnarsson. Andy's last name was Gunderson. He showed the postcard to his wife. He asked, has our granddaughter forgotten how to spell her mother's maiden name, not to mention her manners? His wife said, that's not her handwriting. I bet her fiancé wrote that. He was probably in a hurry. Andy said, being in a hurry is no excuse for bad manners. I've never even met this guy, but I think I already dislike him. His wife said, many people misspell Gunderson. Andy said, not family members, but even if I ignore the spelling, why didn't he bother to write Mr. and Mrs.? She said, as I said, he was probably in a hurry. Andy snorted. He said, more likely he couldn't spell it. The little boy was upset. His mom asked why. He said kids at school were making fun of him. How do they make fun of you? You're a smart, handsome boy, she said. He said, they make fun of my name. She asked, how do they do that, Herman? You have a perfectly good name. You were named after your grandpa. He was a good man. You should be proud of your name. He said, I hate it. They change her to she. They call me Sheeman. They joke that I'm part girl. I hate them. I hate my name. She asked who was making fun of him. He said Clancy and Johnny were. His mom said, Clancy and Johnny? Here's what you can do. From now on, you call Clancy Nancy and Johnny Jenny. You joke that they are all girl. They'll stop calling you Sheeman, I promise you. The protest was in the news. Hundreds of protesters were living in a park near Wall Street. They had been there for 3 weeks. They planned to stay there for many more weeks. They marched on Wall Street. They carried signs. One sign said, tax the greedy, not the needy. Sherry asked, what do they want? Her husband said, they think Wall Street corporations make too much money. They think the corporations are greedy. They think the corporations should share their money. She asked, do they want the corporations to give them free money? He said, maybe some of them do, but I think most of them want decent jobs. She said, if they want a corporation to offer decent jobs, they should form their own corporation. Many corporations start with one person and one good idea. There are hundreds of protesters. Don't any of them have one good idea? He was in the coffee section at the supermarket. He saw a new brand of coffee beans. The brand was very good. The package looked nice. Nice packages usually contain nice products. The package said French roast. He loved French roast, but he usually bought the Starbucks brand. Very good was cheaper, though. He decided to try it. Every time you shop, he always told his friends, you should buy a new product. That way you might find a new taste treat. He bought the new brand and went home. He opened the package. The beans were light brown. They were dry. Starbucks beans are dark brown. They're oily. This doesn't look good, he thought. He made a pot of coffee. It was terrible. Army coffee had tasted better. He took the package and receipt back to the supermarket. He got a refund. That'll teach me to try something new, he thought. He was tall and thin. His beard was white. He was wearing a baseball cap and a windbreaker. Both were dark blue. Both looked worn. He was standing on the sidewalk. He was in front of a busy museum in New York City. He was standing next to the taxi stand. He called out to nearby pedestrians. "Taxi, taxi, do you want a taxi?" He guided them to a waiting taxi. He opened the back door for the pedestrians. They entered the yellow taxi. As they entered, he said, "Tip, tip please." He usually got $1 or $2. Sometimes he got a $5 tip. A young woman had been watching him. She walked over to him. She said, "This looks like a great job." He said, "It is. I make almost $100 a day." She said, "That's not bad for 8 hours." He said, 8 hours? How about 4? Many people were in line to see the new memorial at the World Trade Center. Bill asked a memorial volunteer, "Can I look at the reflecting pools without standing in this long line?" She said, "Sure, go inside the Winter Garden over there." It was a 10-minute walk to the Winter Garden. He went upstairs. He was about 30 feet above ground. He looked out the huge windows. He could see the construction site. He could see the Hilton Hotel. It was a tall glass building just east of the construction site. But he couldn't see the reflecting pools at all. He wasn't up high enough. That was a long walk for nothing, he thought. A tour guide approached with a group of students. Bill asked, "How can I get a better view of the reflecting pools?" Pointing east, the guide said, "That's easy. Rent a room at the Hilton." "There are no honest people anymore," Jesse told his wife. "Everyone is after your money. They will lie and cheat just to get your money." His wife said it wasn't that bad. "Most people are honest," she said. "You just seem to attract the bad ones." Jesse went to the newsstand. The Powerball lottery was worth over $100 million. He gave $5 to the newsstand worker. The worker gave Jesse one Powerball ticket. When Jesse got home, he looked at the bottom of the ticket. It said, "Buy $5 of Lotto on one ticket in October. Get $2 Lotto Quick Pick ticket free." Where are my 2 free Quick Picks, he wondered. He showed the ticket to his wife. "The newsstand guy cheated me," Jesse said. "He didn't give me my 2 free games." She disagreed. She said, "You have to buy $5 of Lotto. You bought $5 of Powerball." Alan turned his laptop on. The fan started humming loudly. It was a loud, steady hum. Alan could hear the hum from 10 feet away. It hummed until he turned his laptop off. He told his friend about the hum. His friend said there was dust near the fan. He told Alan to blow out the dust. Alan went to Staples. "Do you sell compressed air?" he asked. The worker showed him a 2-pack for $10. "Can't I buy just one can for $5? Alan asked. The worker said no. Alan bought the 2-pack. Why not make us buy a 6-pack? He wondered angrily. He went home. He blew the compressed air into the vents near the computer fan. He turned on his vacuum cleaner. He vacuumed the vents for about 5 minutes. He turned on his laptop. It was as quiet as a mouse. Alan hummed a happy tune. He took the subway to Strand Bookstore. The one-way subway fare was $2.25. He needed a vocabulary book. He found Word Menu. The book lists words according to subject matter. For example, listed under clothing are types of clothing, such as sweaters. Listed under sweaters are types of sweaters, such as V-neck and turtleneck. There were only 2 books. They were used, not new. One was $12 and one was $7. That's strange, he thought. Why are the prices different? He examined both books carefully. He couldn't find a single difference between them. He bought the $7 book. He felt good. He had just saved $5. He went home. He walked over to his bookshelf. He was about to put the book on his bookshelf. Then he stopped. There on his bookshelf was the same book. He opened the book. Inside was a sticker. The sticker said, "Strand, $1." He was gonna ride his bike down to South Ferry. He squeezed the tires. They were soft. They needed air. I should buy a pump one of these days, he thought. He rode his bike to Kmart on 34th Street. He walked the bike inside the store. He went to the big elevator. He took it downstairs. He went to the bike section. He took a bicycle pump off the shelf. He pumped up both tires. Now they were hard. He took the elevator back to ground level. He walked his bike to the exit door. The security person stopped him. "May I see your receipt?" she asked. He laughed. "I bought this bike 3 months ago. Here, look at the dirt on these tires," he said. "I just came here to put some air in the tires." She said, "Really? That's not allowed. Don't do it any more, please." It is a huge, popular museum on Fifth Avenue. It's next to Central Park. Many steps lead up to the main entrance. Banners hang outside the museum. One says, "Heroic Africa." Another says, "The 9/11 Peace Story Quilt." Another says, "Master Painters of India." A sign near the entrance says, "Open late tonight." George asked, "What's the name of this museum? I don't see a sign anywhere. I see the banners. I see the names of the exhibits. I see the open late sign. I see everything but the name of the museum." His wife said, "Don't be so picky. Everyone knows it's the Met. I'm sure there's a sign somewhere." They walked up the steps. On either side of the entrance doors was a small plaque. Each plaque said, "The Metropolitan Museum of Art." His wife said, "See? Here are your signs." George said, "These aren't signs. They're footnotes." They were casual friends. A while back they had had lunch at a restaurant. They paid for lunch. They left the restaurant. They were walking past a newsstand. A sign said, "Powerball, $100 million." Jenny asked Jane, "Would you lend me $5? I spent all my cash on lunch." "I'll pay you back the next time we get together." Jane said, "Sure." They got together a while later. "How have you been?" Jane asked. Jenny said, "Just great. I've been making vacation plans for the summer. I'm going to Europe for 3 months." Jane said, "That sounds great, but it's going to cost you a pretty penny, isn't it?" Jenny said, "Yes, but I've got a lot of pretty pennies. Remember that $5 you lent me? I won $100,000. Can you believe it? I'm treating you to lunch today. You can order whatever you like." Jane said, "Oh, how nice." The studio apartment was for sale. It was downtown near Wall Street. The price was $300,000. An open house was on Sunday. She went to look at it. There was only one window. It was huge, but it faced an office building. The office building was right across the street. Anyone on the 5th floor could look right into her apartment. She would have to keep the blinds closed. That would block out the natural light. The bathroom had a shower, but no bathtub. The refrigerator was too small. A small frozen turkey would barely fit in the freezer. There was no oven. The floors were tile, not hardwood. There was only one closet. There's no way I would live here, she thought. This place has too many problems. The agent told her the price had dropped. The owner was asking only $250,000. I'll take it, she told the agent. He needed a job. He went online to the Moondollar's website. There was a questionnaire for new hires. He decided to answer the questions. The questionnaire asked many similar questions. Do you like people? Do you like to be around people? Are you a friendly person? Do you like to listen to people's problems? Do you go out of your way to help people? No, 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 and no, he answered. I'm gonna flunk this questionnaire, he thought, but I have to be honest. He finished the questionnaire. He filled in all his personal information. 2 weeks later, Moondollars emailed him. We would like to interview you soon. There was more. He told his wife. She was surprised. Why would they want to interview you? Your answers showed that you're not a people person, she said. He said, I'm not, but they think I'll make a good manager. Randy was peeling the sticker off an apple. He asked, where do these stickers come from? His dad said, you know about the tooth fairy, right? He leaves $1 under the pillow when kids lose their baby teeth. Well, these stickers come from a fairy too, the apple sticker fairy. He travels around the world putting stickers on all the apples. Randy said, but that's a lot of apples. That's a lot of stickers. Doesn't he get tired? His dad said, no, fairies don't ever get tired. The apple sticker fairy can lick the stickers and put them on all the world's apples and never get tired. Randy asked, he licks the stickers? His cooties are on all the stickers and all the apples? Yuck! I don't want to eat an apple with cooties on it. His dad said, don't worry, fairies are like angels. They don't have cooties. Ed turned on the TV. He saw a candy commercial. It said Pure Hershey's. He changed the channel. He saw a network commercial. It said TNT, We Know Drama. He changed the channel. He saw a lottery commercial. It said, Hey, you never know. He changed the channel. He saw an insurance commercial. It said, State Farm, get to a better state. He changed the channel. He saw a coffee commercial. It said, Maxwell House, good to the last drop. He changed the channel. He saw a laundry soap commercial. It said, It's all good. He changed the channel. He saw a tire commercial. It said, Michelin, a better way forward. He changed the channel. He saw a clothing commercial. It said, Free country, live in it. He changed the channel. He saw a bug commercial. It said, Decon, get out. Ed turned off the TV. He opened a magazine. Chuck had finally found a job. It was only on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but it was a job. A temp agency had gotten him the job. The agency manager had said, do exactly what they ask, no more, no less. Don't ask stupid questions. They don't want a rookie proofreader. I told them you're a veteran. If they like you, they'll probably ask you to work more often. Then maybe they'll make you full-time. Be patient. Tuesday was Chuck's first day of work at the advertising agency. The boss came by. He introduced himself. He said something about T's and C's. Chuck asked what T's and C's meant. The boss said it meant terms and conditions. Wednesday morning, Chuck bought new shirts for his new job. Wednesday afternoon, his phone rang. The temp agency manager said, "I can't believe you asked about T's and C's. They don't want you back." He loves Superman. Superman is his hero. He tries to be just like Superman. He is 30 years old. He has loved Superman since he was 6. He has read every Superman comic book at least twice. He knows everything about Superman. Ask him any question about Superman. How old is Superman? He will tell you. Does Superman have any brothers? He will tell you. Does Superman like vegetables? He will tell you. When he's at work, he wears his jeans. When he's not at work, he wears his Superman outfit. He walks around his neighborhood in his Superman outfit. All his neighbors say, "Hi, Superman." Every Saturday he goes to the city jail. He visits the prisoners. He tells them, "When you get out of jail, I will be watching you. If you are not good, I will bring you back to jail." The prisoners promise to be good. The bar owner was upset. His best customer was in the hospital. He had a head injury. "What happened?" the owner's wife asked. He said, "He drank too much. When he went outside, he fell down. His head hit the sidewalk. Now he's in the hospital." This isn't the first injury. Many customers have fallen down outside. Many were taken to the hospital. I'm losing too many customers. I don't know what to do. His wife said, "Here's an idea. Just give them a helmet when they leave. A helmet will protect their heads. They can return it later." He said, "Nobody's going to wear a helmet outside a bar. They will look silly. Plus, nobody will return it." His wife said, "Well, here's another idea. They actually do make rubber sidewalks. Your sidewalk is concrete. Change it to rubber. Your customers will bounce right up after they fall down." "Thanks, young man," the clerk said as Aaron handed him cash. Aaron couldn't believe his ears. He was at NYU Dental School on First Avenue. He was paying his bill. Young man, he wondered. I was a young man years ago. I'm certainly not one now. Who is this guy? He looks like he's about 25. If anyone's a young man, it's him, not me. "Here you go, young man," the clerk said as he handed Aaron his change. "Excuse me?" Aaron said sharply. Some people nearby looked at him. "That's twice you called me young man. Open your eyes. Do I look like a young man? No, I don't. So why are you calling me a young man? Do you call a teenager an old man? Maybe you think you're being funny, but you're not. Call me sir, or don't call me anything, please." The clerk said, "Yes, sir." Anne was in the waiting room. A few others were waiting there also. Anne looked at her watch. Her appointment was for 9 a.m. It was 9:10 a.m. "Where is the doctor?" Anne asked the secretary. "He had an emergency. He'll be here any minute now," said the secretary. "My appointment was for 9 o'clock. I have another appointment at 11 o'clock," Anne said. The secretary said, "He'll be here any minute now." Anne shook her head. She went back to her seat. An emergency, she thought. He probably overslept. I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. Doctors always make us wait for them. They don't care that our time is valuable too. The doctor finally walked in at 9:20. He told everyone in the waiting room, "I'm sorry I'm late. There was a car crash outside my house. I helped the victim until the paramedics arrived." He stood at the kitchen sink. An empty coffee cup was in one hand. A full pitcher of coffee was in the other hand. He poured coffee out of the glass pitcher. Some coffee went into the coffee cup. Some coffee went down the side of the pitcher. "Every time I pour a cup of coffee," he told his wife, "half a cup goes down the side of the pitcher. It goes into the sink and down the drain. Who designed this pitcher? The spout doesn't pour correctly. Half my coffee goes into the cup, Half my coffee goes down the drain. This spout is a joke." His wife said, "It's not the spout, it's you. The pitcher has a little spout. Just pour the coffee slowly." He tried it. It worked. "Who has time to pour slowly?" he said. "It's a big pitcher. It should have a big spout." Marcus went into a shoe store on Fifth Avenue. He asked if they sold Timberland shoes. The salesman said yes. Marcus walked to the back of the store with the salesman. A pair of Timberland slip-ons were on sale. They were size 11.5. Marcus asked if they had size 11. The salesman said no. Marcus tried on the slip-ons. The left one fit okay. The right one was a little loose. "I just need thicker socks," Marcus thought. He decided to buy the shoes. He wore them the next day. By the end of the day, he was limping. He had a red sore on the back of his right heel. The red sore didn't heal for a week. Marcus wore flip-flops all that week. "How could you buy shoes that were too big?" his wife asked. He said only one shoe was too big. Besides, they were half price. Walden wore a pink shirt to school. A classmate laughed at Walden. "What's so funny?" Walden asked. Simon said, "What's so funny? You're wearing a pink shirt. That means you're gay. Everyone knows pink is a color for girls. Pink is for girls, blue is for boys. A boy who wears pink is gay, or he wishes he was a girl. Everyone knows that." Walden said, "That's so ridiculous. Where do you hear things like that? What if a girl wears blue? Does that mean that she's gay? Does that mean she wishes she was a boy? Look at all the girls wearing blue today. Do you think that they're all gay, or that they all wish they were boys? Next you'll be telling me that a black person wearing white wishes he was white, or that a white person wearing black wishes he was black. How stupid is that?" "Let's join the Halloween parade on 6th Avenue, she said. "It'll be fun. Anyone who wears a costume can be in the parade. The parade starts at 7 o'clock. Let's go buy costumes now. I don't want to be late." He said, "No problem. The parade lasts 3 hours. If we're late, we'll just be in the back of the parade instead of the front." "What costume are you going to wear?" She said, "I'm going to be Batman." He said, "You can't be Batman. Batman is a man. You're a woman. You can be Batwoman." She said, "It's Halloween. I can be anyone I want. I want to be Batman. You can be Batwoman." He said, "Sure. It's Halloween. You be Batman and I'll be Batwoman. You're 100 pounds. I'm 200 pounds. People will definitely look twice." She said, "At least twice. Maybe we'll even get a TV interview." He was watching a TV talk show. The talk show host introduced a guest. The two men warmly hugged each other. Vance asked his wife, "Since when did men start doing that?" She asked, "Doing what?" He said, "Hugging. Since when did men start hugging each other? They used to shake hands when they met. Now they hug. Where did that come from? They transfer all the germs on their hands to the back of the other guy's shirt. They transfer all the odors on the front of their shirt to the front of the other guy's shirt. They invade each other's personal space. They get way too close. It's disgusting. I would never hug another man. I don't even hug my own father." His wife said, "Hugging isn't so bad. Be careful what you wish for. Maybe men will stop hugging when they meet. But maybe they'll start kissing." Shane listened to the sounds coming from the apartment above him. Was there a bowling alley up there? Was there a basketball court up there? Was there a dance studio up there? Was there a construction site up there? Things dropped on the floor. Things rolled across the floor. Things dragged across the floor. There was heavy walking. There was loud hammering. What was going on up there? Shane told Rod, "All I think about is the noise. When will it stop? When it does stop, all I do is worry. I worry about when it's going to start again." Rod said, "Well, talk to your neighbor. Ask him to please quiet down. If he doesn't, tell the building manager." Shane said, "Well, the last time I complained to a noisy neighbor, he made more noise. The last time I complained to a manager about noise, he raised my rent." It was a large white envelope. It arrived in New York from California. It was from Tony Robbins. He is a very famous speaker. He is a very famous life coach. He is a very rich man. 3 shiny white pages were inside the envelope. They invited Rachel to a 6-day seminar in San Diego. Page 1 said, "This is your chance to reshape your life." Page 2 said, "Unleash your own inner power." Page 4 said, 6 days that will shape your life." She told her husband about the invitation. "How much is the seminar?" he asked. She said it was almost $4,500. "Are you going to go?" he asked. She said, "No. This morning I had to go downstairs to see the mailman. I had to pay him 63 cents for postage due on the envelope. They want me to pay $4,500, but they couldn't pay 63 cents. Camille worked with Bonnie. She borrowed things from Bonnie. She forgot to return them. She never said good morning to Bonnie in the morning. She never said good night to Bonnie in the evening. She never went to lunch with Bonnie. A week before the office Christmas party, Camille started being nice to Bonnie. She started saying good morning. She started saying good night. She returned everything she had borrowed from Bonnie. She invited Bonnie to lunch. Bonnie didn't understand Camille's friendliness, but she liked it. One day Camille told Bonnie, "You must come to the party. You'll have fun, I know. Please promise you'll come." Bonnie promised. She wore her prettiest dress to the party. Camille hugged her, saying, "I'm so glad you're here. You look so nice. Would you watch my coat and purse for me?" Camille danced for almost an hour. Bonnie watched Camille's coat and purse. He put his mini umbrella into a trash can. 2 other umbrellas were in the trash can. His umbrella had lasted 2 years. That was pretty good. New York City weather can destroy umbrellas quickly. He went to JCPenney to buy a new umbrella. Mini umbrellas, originally $25, were on sale for $17. He bought one. The next day he saw the same umbrella on sale at Kmart for $13. He thought about buying the Kmart umbrella, but he didn't. He went back to JCPenney a week later. Workers were handing out $10 Christmas coupons. The coupons would save customers $10 off items that cost $10 or more. Using 2 coupons, he bought 2 $17 umbrellas for only $14 total. Later he returned the first $17 umbrella he had bought. He was proud of himself. He had bought 2 umbrellas for less than the price of the first umbrella. Laura was in 3rd grade. Her teacher asked the class, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Johnny raised his hand. He said, "I want to be a doctor. I want to cut people open and see what's inside." Billy raised his hand. He said, "I want to be a policeman. I want to shoot bad guys with my gun." Bobby raised his hand. He said, "I want to be a pilot. I want to fly through the sky like a bird." Nancy raised her hand. She said, "I want to be a nurse. I want to take care of sick people." Mary raised her hand. She said, "I want to be a movie star. I want to be rich and famous." Laura raised her hand. She said, "I want to be a teacher. I want to teach kids how to be what they want to be." The commercials were blasting away. A commercial for whiter teeth, a commercial for a safer car, a commercial for headache relief. He turned off the volume. She said, "What are you doing? Turn the volume back on." He said, "These are stupid, boring commercials. You can watch them every 10 minutes on TV. They are trying to sell you stuff. They want you to trust them. They want you to believe them." But they don't know the first thing about you. Wouldn't you rather listen to me? Wouldn't you rather listen to your real-life husband? Wouldn't you rather listen to what I have to say?" She said, "Okay, if you insist. I guess you're right. I should listen to you. What do you want to say?" He looked at her. He said, "That's it. That's all I wanted to say." She grabbed the remote. She turned the volume back on. Scott walked into the almost empty office. One worker was typing at his computer. The worker smiled and said, "How's it going?" Scott didn't know the worker. He said hi without smiling. He sat down at a nearby desk. His back was to the worker. Scott was waiting for his agent to show up. He looked out the window. It was a sunny day. He heard the worker typing. The typing got louder. A minute later, he heard the worker whistling. The whistling got louder. Scott started singing. He sang, "She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah." He sang it 5 times. Then he stopped. He turned around. The worker was looking at him. The worker was silent. "That's my favorite song," Scott said. "Whenever I hear whistling, I sing that song. I don't want someone else's song stuck in my head. It's hard to get rid of someone else's song." Bart's upstairs neighbor was driving him nuts. He made all kinds of strange noises at all kinds of strange hours. "If I tell my neighbor he's noisy, he won't believe me," Bart thought. "He'll believe me only if he lives downstairs and hears himself upstairs. Of course that's impossible. My neighbor can't be in 2 places at one time." Bart needed to invent something. After much thought and work, he invented a noise reflector. It sent noise back to its source. The reflector had a volume button. It could double or triple the original noise. Bart waited for his neighbor to make noise again. He turned on the reflector. It took less than a minute for his neighbor to quit making noise. Bart told Herb about his reflector. Herb said, "That sounds great. Can you make one for me? I'll use it the next time my wife yells at me." It's not what you know, it's who you know. Everyone knows that. Job hunters send out resumes. They reply to newspaper ads. They reply to Craigslist ads. They go to job fairs. They go online. But most of them don't get hired. If they knew the boss, they might get hired. But most job hunters don't know the boss, so they don't get hired. Mike wasn't working. He was tired of not working. He decided to try something different. He made 2 signs out of white cardboard. The signs said, "Hire me, $20 an hour. Driver 917-555-1234. He went to Times Square. He hung both signs around his neck. He was nervous about wearing them in public, but he was in New York City, the home of the naked cowboy. The naked cowboy poses for pictures in his white underwear. If he can do that, Mike thought, I can certainly do this. She was beautiful. She had a big smile and pretty teeth. I want to be her boyfriend, Mark thought. One day he saw her alone in a restaurant. She was eating fries and a burger. He wanted to join her, but he couldn't just sit down. That might be too forward. He bought 2 sodas. He went over to her table. "Hi," he said. "They just gave me a free soda. I can't drink 2 sodas. Can I offer this one to you?" She smiled and said, "Thank you." "Won't you have a seat?" she said. He thanked her and sat down. "I'm Mark. You're very pretty," he said. She said, "Thank you. I'm Jenny. You're not so bad yourself. Do you have a girlfriend?" He said no. His heart raced. Oh boy, she wants to be my girlfriend, Mark thought. "My best friend doesn't have a boyfriend," Jenny said. The doctor examined his shoulder. She gave him a list of exercises to do. They were stretching exercises and strengthening exercises. Both types involved many repetitions. All the exercises looked simple. All of them looked boring. Some of them required him to use a stick. Some required him to use a bungee cord. He did the exercises for several days. His shoulder didn't feel better. He quit doing the exercises. A month later he returned to the doctor's office. The doctor asked, "Does your shoulder feel better now?" He said no. She asked, "Have you been doing those exercises regularly?" He said no. She said, "You can't get better if you don't do those exercises. That's why I gave you the list. Those exercises will make your shoulder feel better, but you won't get better if you don't exercise. It's up to you. Remember, God helps those who help themselves." Kitty was a black cat with a white tail. Kitty lived in California. His owner was Kathy. Kathy loved Kitty. She fed Kitty the best food. She cleaned Kitty's litter box every day. She took Kitty to the vet every 6 months. Kitty slept in Kathy's bed. Kitty had his own pillow. Kitty had a good life. Then one day Kitty disappeared. Kathy put up signs in her neighborhood. Each sign showed a photo of Kitty. Each sign offered a $500 reward. Months later, Kathy got a phone call. It was from a vet in New York City. Someone had found Kitty and brought him to the vet. The vet had scanned Kitty. The scan detected Kitty's microchip. "I have your cat," the vet said. Kathy screamed with delight. "Hold on to him. I'm catching the first plane to New York," she said. Maybe I should rename him Coast to Coast, she thought. She was sitting near the living room window. "Look at this," she said. He asked, "Look at what?" She said, "Look at all the dust on this blind. This dust can make me ill. When are you going to clean the blinds? How many times do I have to ask you?" He said, "They don't look that dusty, but I'll clean them anyway." The next day he cleaned the blinds on all the windows. He used half a roll of damp paper towels. Each blind had 38 slats. He wiped the dust off each slat. He finished in about 4 hours. She came home that evening. He showed her the blinds. He said, "Look at the blinds. They look brand new. All the dust is gone. How's that for a good job?" She said, "Don't be so proud of yourself. You should have cleaned them the first time I asked." Linda was 6 years old. She was sitting in the back seat. Her dad was driving the car. Linda was sucking on a heart-shaped medal. The medal had hung on her necklace, but the necklace had broken. Suddenly the medal slipped down her throat. It blocked her windpipe. She started coughing. Her dad turned his head. "What's the matter, honey?" he asked. He didn't see the big pothole. He hit the pothole. He pulled over and stopped the car. Linda was smiling. She said, "I'm okay, Daddy, but I swallowed my medal." The medal had popped out of her windpipe. It had gone down her food pipe. Her dad drove to a hospital. A doctor ordered an X-ray. He looked at the X-ray. He told Linda's dad, "Everything's okay. The medal will come out naturally." Linda told her classmates the next day, "That pothole saved my life. It's my hero." Bessie was a dairy cow. She had black patches on her white skin. Or did she have white patches on her black skin? "She's my best cow," Farmer Brown told his neighbor. His neighbor said, "Your best cow? Bessie has 2 tails. Who ever heard of such a thing? She's so funny-looking. How can such a funny-looking cow be your best cow?" Farmer Brown said, "Bessie never strays. She never gets sick. She gives the most milk of all the cows. She gives the sweetest milk of all the cows. Of course, she kills more flies than any other cow. And she's famous. People come from all over to see the cow with 2 tails. They hold on to her 2 tails. They make a mustache of her 2 tails. Their friends take pictures of them holding her 2 tails. They all go home happy. I wish I had 100 Bessies."